the miracles of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Sort of culminate in this week's Parsha, where we have national revelation. The entire nation experienced prophecy. The entire nation hears Hashem's voice. It was an overwhelming experience. So overwhelming. It says that they all died and were reincarnated. The angels had to revive them. So we read all the stories. We read about the miracles. We read about the splitting of the sea. We read the revelation. It's not the same as being there. Especially in this day and age, where there's no limit to the imagination. Our minds have I guess they have difficulty differentiating between history and fiction. You can make anything look real. Whatever it is that was super duper that they experienced. So who hasn't seen super duper fiction? And we're therefore not so moved. We're dealing with an issue that perhaps in the past was less problematic. You told your kids about Yetzias Mitzrayim. You told your kids about the sea splitting. Wow. There's no wow anymore. Spoke of hearing Hashem's voice. Yeah. Everyone hears voices. This experience that had an eternal effect on the Jewish nation is so difficult to tune into. How do you read this and feel different than all the exciting stuff out there? Feel that this is not the same. This is for real. How do we get ourselves to understand that this is for real? as desensitized as we are, when something happens in real life, we're probably more frail than our ancestors were. We're probably more shaken, simply because real life to us is so much more comfortable. We are so pampered. People are far away from reality. In those days, they were surrounded by suffering. People witnessed heads rolling. Governments were openly oppressive, and people saw that all the time. You never knew what was going to be next. Life was so real. To us, everything's fantasy. How do we get ourselves to take life seriously? How do we get ourselves to take anything seriously? People read about the Holocaust, they're moved. Does anything? Maybe going to Poland makes something of impression because this place really exists. Maybe. Certainly has an effect at the time. Whether it's long-lasting or not, I don't know. Someone's got to do the research. How do we get ourselves to start taking things seriously? The process of Talmud Torah is supposed to be just that. The process of reading, studying, getting to the depths of the wisdom of Hashem is supposed to do that for us. Recognizing the profundity and the seriousness that's supposed to make things real. In fact, very much part of the definition of what it means to be a Talmid Chacham. Someone learned as opposed to what was called the Am Haaretz. Is the ability to take things seriously. You got plenty of Jews that have studied and can quote. And Chazal say all sorts of things, and they can throw it right back at you. Kol hakois kilo over avodah zarah. If you lose it, you lose your temper. Oh, I'm worshiping an idol. Yeah, it's another one of those proverbs, huh? You can say it, you can chuckle. You can lose it a minute later. The Talmid Chacham is one who takes Torah seriously. Has to make sense of it. realizes the profundity, realizes how real and true this is. And so long as something inside him is skeptical, there's something inside you that disagrees why it should not be that way, you don't let up. Got to rack your brains to understand it. That's making things real. It's understanding that this is reality. What the Torah study is supposed to be is understanding reality as it is. As opposed to so much else that is sold in the name of religion. That's fluff. Nice feelings. The whole concept of being a Talmid Chacham is someone who is serious. I don't mean not having a sense of humor. Serious means an understanding that life is for real. Now, we spend time here studying the halachas of what you've got to give your life for. Literally. Literally. You got to be prepared to die for something. Now, that's for real. What Torah is about is recognizing what in life is for real and serious and what is play. So much of life today is play. It was given at the time in a way that it would have a colossal effect on them. This is so real. I mean, you take a look, and people out there, are they living life? Are they playing, doing things in style? You know, perhaps those of you who are a bit younger than others don't want to hear this stuff. You still want to have a good couple of years of having a good time. Shlomo Melech says, "Smach bachor b'yaldusecha." Yeah. Let the youngsters enjoy their youth. But he ends the pasuk telling you, at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay for all of this. The sooner one grows up, the better. Growing up means understanding what's real and living your life for real. On the contrary, this is what's really enjoyable. Growing up means what you enjoy most in life is not playing. What you enjoy is doing things for real. Like everything fine, you've got to acquire a taste for it. It's a more mature form of enjoyment. And so much more powerful, so much more pleasurable. Plays great while it's going on. When it's over, you're left with nothing. Taking life seriously. You grow, you build yourself. You take responsibility. Oh, do you feel great? There's nothing like it. Everything the Jews had to experience there had to be larger than life. They had to know this is more real than anything else there is. And today, when we reenact it without the sound and light show, by studying, by making sense of it, by feeling it, by getting to the bottom of it, knowing this is right, this is real. It's supposed to have that same effect. Sure, many of you have heard there was a tragedy in the student body of Essentials. Young man who didn't wake up one morning. People hear it, they're in shock. And I say again, in this generation more than ever before, because we're very far from death. Death is what happens to the bad guys in the movies. People don't know how to deal with it. The first thing one has to do is come to terms with the fact that life is for real. The other thing one has to know is that Hashem's in charge. We often don't have a clue as to what he's doing. But he certainly does. And we know enough about all the wonderful things he does to appreciate that he's good. We also know that he doesn't generally do this. And you don't have to walk around in fear. If this shakes one's sense of security, it's only because he's been hiding the realities from himself up until this point. And perhaps taking our long, painful history as fiction. Life is tough. Life is beautiful. Hashem's ways, so much of them we do understand. And they're so profound. So much of them we don't understand. But we certainly know we can count on him, that he knows what he's doing. And appreciate that when we do wake up in the morning, it's because Hashem loves us all. And that's what generally happens. So maybe we do need to be shaken into reality every once in a while so that we stop playing and take life seriously. The Jewish nation was shaken into reality, but good through the years in Mitzrayim, the torture, and then through the miracles, and then the revelation. We certainly look forward to Hashem giving us a much better taste of reality through his miracles, through his wisdom, through the profound wisdom of what to do with your life for real, and the way things generally go. We certainly look forward to a lot of that. In the worst of situations, we've looked forward optimistically. We weren't deaf to the realities. But we understand that we're heading in a certain direction. And ultimately, this world will arrive at perfection. And then once and for all, we're going to understand Hashem and every one of his ways, appreciate it, and not having to escape to our play, to our games. We'll be able to live life and enjoy every minute of it. May Hashem help that we share only good news.